In this video, we're just going to look at some special angles in trigonometry, and they are 45 degrees, 30 degrees, and 60 degrees. Now, the reason that they are considered special is that their sine, cos, and tan can all be expressed as simple fractions or as surds, and you can see them in the diagrams on screen at the moment. So in a situation where you've got a right angle triangle where the two angles other than the right angle are 45 degrees, the sides are going to be in the proportion as shown, 1, 1, and root 2, which means the sine, cos, and tan are going to be as shown there, 1 over root 2, 1 over root 2, and 1. And in a right angle triangle where the two other angles are 30 and 60, the sides will be in proportion like this, 1 to 2 to root 3, which means that the sine, cos, and tan of those respective angles are shown there. These angles are these ratios are used so frequently that, in fact, the angles are noted specifically on page 13 of the log tables, where you'll see a table that looks like this. And just to clarify, the top row there gives you the measure of the angles in degrees. So you can see them there, 30, 45, and 60. The second row gives you the measure of the angles in radians. Radians are just another unit that is used to measure rotation. We don't need to talk much about it now, it's a conversation for another video. But just in case it's necessary to come up, pi radians is equal to 180 degrees, which means pi over 2 radians is 90 degrees, pi over 3 radians is 60 degrees, pi over 4 radians is 45 degrees, and pi over 6 radians is 30 degrees. But you can see them all related together on the table above anyway. So let's look at a few situations where we might get a question where this becomes useful to have. So we look at these questions here. In the first one, we've got to add cos 60 and sine 30. So without even going to our calculator, we can straight away reference the table to see what those values are. The cos of 60 is a half, and the sine of 30 is also a half, which means that cos 60 plus sine 30 is equal to 1. And in this situation, we've got 1 minus cos squared 30. Just point of clarification. Cos squared theta is equal to the cos of theta squared. So this is going to be 1 minus, and then the cos of 30 squared. The cos of 30 is root 3 over 2. And that's going to be squared, which means it's going to be 1 minus, and root 3 squared is 3, and 2 squared is 4, so it's 1 minus 3/4, so that's just equal to 1/4. And for this one over here, you notice that our angles are given in radians instead of degrees, but again, that's all noted on the table in our formula tables, so this won't be too bad. Sine of 3 pi over 2 is minus 1, and the sine of pi over 6 is 1. Minus 1 plus 1 is just 0. And well, that is that.